Good morning and welcome to Monday, April 27th, 2020. And today's devotion is titled Isaiah's Vision of God. And we'll be reading out of the book of Isaiah, chapter 6, verse 1. And it reads, "In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw also the Lord sitting upon a throne, high and lifted up, and his train filled the temple." Isaiah's name means the salvation of Jehovah, and is exemplified by his never-tiring boldness to preach to his fellow Hebrews the message of salvation from God through the Messiah. Isaiah volunteered to go to his own people with God's message because of his encounter with God in this vision. Isaiah saw God as majestic, honorable, and worthy of worship and praise, as well as his desire to be obedient. He had a life-changing encounter with God. Oh, that we do as well. While Isaiah's visionary encounter with the Lord was particular to Isaiah, there's no doubt that we too need to see God as Isaiah did, if for no other reason than to jumpstart our stagnant Christian life. Need proof? Look back at yesterday's church attendance, worship service, Sunday school attendance where you're a member. Was it well attended? Were people excited to worship God? Did the Sunday school lesson challenge you? Did the sermon stir you to see God as worthy of worship, sin as a hindrance in your fellowship with Him? Did it illuminate your spiritual needs and encourage you to be bolder in sharing your salvation story or inviting your friends and family to worship with you? If one or all of these did not occur, then most likely a visionary encounter with God is missing. I pray that you will be moved to see God as Isaiah saw Him. And our final thought comes from Isaiah chapter 6, verse 5. "Then said I, Woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips. For mine eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts." Of course, when this devotion was written, we didn't know about the COVID-19 and the pandemic, and as it says here, it's questioning your church attendance. How many people were in church? How many people were worshiping? How many people were attending Sunday school? Well, a lot of churches, mine included, is doing online live stream through YouTube for all three: Sunday school, morning service, and the evening service, as well as the Wednesday night devotion. So actually 4 live streams per week. And the interesting thing about that is you're actually able to look at YouTube and see how many views it has, how many people actually watched the message. And it's amazing to me when I go back and look at the numbers, they're low. And it's like, well, you have no excuse. You can't say, well, I slept in, or I wasn't feeling good so I couldn't go to church. It's on YouTube. The technology is there to go back and watch it at any time. Yet people today are not making that effort. They always come up with excuses. And the devil loves that. The devil is constantly feeding you little excuses. Think back to when, before the pandemic, when you would go to church in person. You could have 6 straight days of perfect harmony at the house. You wake up early, you have a good breakfast, get dressed, go to work. Everything flows seamlessly. But then what happens on Sunday mornings? Are you challenged by Satan? Do you wake up with those extra little aches and pains in your body? Do you wake up thinking of every excuse you can come up with not to get up and go to church? I mean, you've been getting up early and going to work every day all week. But what's different about Sunday? Why is it so hard to get up and go to church? If you had a vision like Isaiah had, if you had that encounter with God to rest upon, and then you got Satan on this side trying to tempt you to stay home and discourage you from going to church, which would outweigh the other? Would your encounter with God outweigh your encounter with Satan? Which voice do you listen to? Like the old proverbial, two little beings on your shoulder, an angel on one and a little demon on the other, whispering in your ear, telling you what to do. Which do you listen to? Now, if you find yourself listening to the demon more often than the angel, then obviously your priorities are completely out of whack. But how do you have a vision like Isaiah? How do you have that encounter with God like Isaiah did? Does God only show himself and reveal himself to Old Testament Bible people, or even just New Testament Bible folks? Or is he still revealing himself today? Well, I'll tell you firsthand, he still reveals himself today. But so many people don't seek him. So many people don't ask him to show himself. Now, granted, God's not going to just, excuse me, come down out of the heavens and stand before you face to face, because of course, to see God would mean death. We cannot see him and survive because of his greatness. But he shows himself through encounters, through actions, through little situations throughout the day that are absolutely miraculous. And if you're not having those encounters, ask him for it. Seek him. And I promise you, you will have your God encounter. But so many times we expect it to happen on our terms, when we want it to happen, not when he wants it to happen, or where, or in what circumstances. We seem to want to dictate that God encounter. Let God dictate it. Let him control it. And you just sit back and wait for the miracles to happen, because they will. But you've got to have an open eyes and open heart to really appreciate and understand God's encounter. So I'll leave you with that. Today's devotion was thought-provoking, because we are in different times today, and it was bringing up the question about church attendance. And church has changed a lot here in the last few weeks. So really, really interesting when you think about it. So I encourage you, if your church does online services, stick with them, support them, keep up with it. Don't be discouraged. Don't listen to the devil when he tries to stop you from going or attending. Because when you don't attend church, that's a victory for Satan. And we can't afford to give him any victories. None at all. So I'll let you go with that. Thank you so much for watching this morning, and I will catch you all tomorrow. Have a great day, and God bless. Bye-bye.